It told the rest of the nation that Chicago was not finished, even when the odds were stacked. Throughout the Depression, the South Side continued to build its own world and cultural identity. The Great Migration had brought thousands of Black Americans to the city, transforming the South Side. Bronzeville, stretching along South State Street, became one of the most vibrant cultural communities in America. The Chicago Defender, the nation's most influential Black newspaper, anchored this thriving neighborhood. Jazz clubs on 47th Street pulsed with energy every night, providing a sanctuary for the community. Churches held the neighborhood together, offering support through years that hit them harder than others. Black residents faced the Depression with systemic barriers, often being the last hired and first fired. Despite being locked out of many relief programs, they built mutual aid networks to survive. By the late 1930s, the worst of the economic crisis began to ease as federal money arrived. New schools, parks, and public buildings were constructed by WPA workers who had once stood in lines. The city was finally finding its footing again, slowly emerging from the shadow of the decade. Then, on December 7, 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor changed everything for the nation. Chicago did not hesitate, immediately pivoting its industrial capacity toward the urgent needs of war. The same factories that had retooled for survival now shifted their focus to military production. Steel mills ran around the clock, and the stockyards supplied the massive demand of the armed forces. The men who had once stood in breadlines were now building the machinery that would win the war. Chicago had survived the hard times, and now it stood ready to work for the future.